Did you know the best way to tackle Google's tough GCA questions is to answer them like you're already in the role, especially GCA questions that have nothing to do with the role that you're interviewing for? Google's GCA interview, short for General Cognitive Ability, is considered by most interview candidates to both be the most feared and toughest interview. So, in this video, I'll provide a question and answer to a GCA question that really forces the answer to get creative. Always remember, if the interviewer can picture you in the role, our likelihood of getting hired goes through the roof. So let's dive right in. So let's assume I get asked the following GCA question with these follow up questions included right off the bat. So, how would you go about predicting how much space Google will have at year end 2025? Some follow ups are: what data sources would you consult to help gather the information you need? What are some factors that will impact your response? Which of these factors would have the most impact? And how would this information help your organization? So, we're going to assume we're interviewing for a technical program manager focused in Google Play monetization. I included the full job description in the YouTube description below. This role would not touch this issue at all at Google. So, let's dive in for how to solve this question in this role. And I'll show you how to make it very role specific. Let's dive in. So, we always imagine our fake interviewer as Sue. Hey, Sue, before diving in, I'd like to ask a few clarifying questions. I'd be curious, are we focusing in on a physical office space, data storage space, or both? I'd also be curious, are we focusing just on the US or all geographic locations? Are there any major planned projects or expansions between now and the end of 2025 that I should be considering? Just a yes or no. Should we take into account any potential acquisitions or mergers or leave those out? And then, is there a specific growth rate target that's already been set by leadership? For example, is it 5%, 10%, or more than 10%? Okay, a few items we might want to consider before solving are: I absolutely want to look at historical data. I want to be looking at our current usage and growth projections. We want to be thinking about market trends. Do we have any internal plans in place that I should consider? Any external factors? Of course, any advancements in technology are going to be critical. Then we're going to be looking at a few simple things like resource allocation, budget constraints, and risk management. Before solving, let's actually make a few assumptions. I'm going to assume that I'd be collaborating with engineering directors, product managers, facilities managers, and the Google Play monetization team. I'm going to focus on all major Google Office locations and data centers globally, obviously, with a specific interest in high potential growth for Google Play. I'm assuming this is totally aligned with our strategic goals, including things like sustainability, remote work, and diversity initiatives. I have access to all the historical data and data storage I need about office space, along with trends, especially in correlation to Google Play. I can utilize advanced analytics, ML models, cloud storage solutions, and that we're just going to really consider those trends when making our decisions and thinking about things like economic conditions, regulatory changes, competitive landscape, etc. So, I think a good starting place for us would be discussing historical data and growth projections. But is there another area you'd like to focus on first? Okay. To predict the space Google will need to have by the end of 2025, a thorough analysis of that historical data is crucial. As a TPM for Google Play monetization, I would focus on growth trends related to monetization activities and their impact on the space requirement. So, I'd start by analyzing that historical data on office space expansion, including number of new offices opened, existing office expansions, and office closures. And I'd pay particular attention to regions where Google Play monetization teams have grown significantly. Then I'd review data on the growth on data centers, specifically including the addition of new data centers. I'd be thinking about server capacity expansions and decommissioning any out of date facilities. And this is crucial for understanding how increased data transactions from Google Play actually impact these storage needs. Then, from a historical data perspective, last, we want to look at utilization rates, examine historical utilization rates of offices and data centers to understand occupancy trends and capacity management, particularly focusing in on teams for my area, Google Play. Then, from a growth projections perspective, I want to start looking at the modeling and applying any of those models to historical growth rates and to adapt to future space needs, adjusting for factors like planned expansions or shifts that we're seeing in the technology space, and using insights from Google Play's historical data to really tailor these predictions. Then using predictive models to create different scenarios from being very conservative to very aggressive, and assess the impact on these space requirements, and think about how Google Play's activities will cause some upticks in this space. And lastly, just incorporate any market research from projections that are relevant to the tech industry and anything from a cloud storage perspective as well. I think it's a good pause moment. We could definitely focus way more on historical data and growth projections, or we could focus in on internal plans and more advances in technology. Do you have a preference? Okay, let's dive into these internal plans and technological advancements. In addition to looking at the historical data, understanding these internal plans and the impact of these advancements is essential. As a TPM for Google Play, my focus would be on how our team's initiatives actually influence these factors. And so, starting with strategic roadmaps, we'll review strategic documents and roadmaps from the Google Play team and engineering and any relevant departments. Then, with planned expansions, we'll really identify any currently planned office expansions, any new data centers, or infrastructure projects that are outlined in those strategic roadmaps, and consider specific plans related to the supporting growth of Google Play. And then remote work, we need to keep this in consideration as well. So, what are the policies on physical office space requirements, thinking about the hybrid models and flexible office arrangements? This shift towards remote work and a hybrid environment could really alter our space requirements. Then we should shift and talk a little bit about advancements in technology. And so, first, we're definitely going to lean into AI and ML, assess the impact of AI and ML on data storage efficiency, including improvements in things like data compression, optimization of algorithms, and automated management systems. And the Google Play monetization team could leverage these advancements to enhance data handling efficiency. Then we think a little bit more about the physical side of things. So, server hardware improvements. So, we'll evaluate potential improvements in this space, such as increased processing power, energy efficiency, of course, and storage capacity, which could reduce our physical space needs. And this is specifically relevant for managing the high volume of transactions in Google Play. Lastly, we want to look at Google Cloud storage solutions and consider advancements in this space. And this could be hybrid cloud models, distributed storage systems, and it might decrease our reliance on physical data centers. And we'd leverage these solutions to optimize the infrastructure that supports Google Play. Now, at this point, I think it makes sense to focus a little bit more and shift to success metrics and outcomes, unless there's anything else you'd like to cover. Okay, to ensure our predictions are actionable and measurable, we got to define these success metrics and outcomes clearly. And in this TPM role, I would focus on metrics that align with not only our team's objectives, but the overall company goals. And so the accuracy of our projections is going to be critical. We got to continually come back and make sure that it's aligning with our actual outcomes to refine these models consistently and ensure they're unique to the demands of Google Play. Then we need to measure cost savings achieved through optimized space usage and technology implementations, such as reduced real estate costs and operational efficiencies. Assess the financial impact of these optimization on monetization activities. Then, of course, we're tracking utilization rates of our office spaces and data centers to make sure that we're optimizing for our resources and avoiding underutilization or overcapacity, and really monitor how this space is being utilized by Google Play. Scalability. We're definitely evaluating the scalability of our space and planning models to adapt to unexpected changes in growth, such as COVID, for example, including sudden increases in data storage needs or shifts in office space requirements. And we're going to ensure that these models can handle the rapid changes in Google Play's growth. Then, as we really dive into those outcomes, we just want to make sure that we're making informed decisions with all leadership and that we're utilizing data to drive these results in terms of expansion, investments, and resource allocation, and how these are impacting Google Play specifically from a resource perspective. Just infrastructure and space are being used efficiently to reduce any unnecessary expansions and emphasize again the benefits for the Google Play team. Lastly, is we just want to be strategically aligned, align with Google's broader strategic goals, everything we want to consider from sustainability to technology to diversity and inclusion efforts, ensure that these are also aligned with Google Play's goals and ultimately monetizing Google Play. I think we've hit a good stopping point, but I'm happy to discuss any of these concepts that I've mentioned earlier in more detail. Please let me know. Wow. I know when I do these hypothetical answers in these videos, they're really long. I want to show you what an incredibly robust answer looks like. You probably want to pull back a little bit on the length of this answer, but I just want to give you all the details so you can see how I constantly came back to Google Play, Google Play, Google Play. And we're just using those words as a reminder. Was it a little over the top? Yeah, absolutely. But this is what a technical program manager would do. They'd really think about some of these technical items. They'd really be focusing in on driving it from a program manager perspective, and then always kind of backing it up with this Google Play monetization item in mind. I really hope this video helped. Thanks.